one question I've always been asked is, how did you do it? Throughout my experiences in school, in applying to college, in picking my majors, and making a few rash decisions, I've always had people tell me, make sure you have something to fall back on. I've never really understood this concept of having something to fall back on. In my head, if I am to fall, I would want to fall forward. This way I know what to expect, I know what's ahead of me, I know what I need to do in order to reach my goal, in order to attain victory. Now I know a lot of you are wondering, what does it really mean to fall forward? And so I'll give you a few examples. Thomas Edison, one of the greatest scientists we have ever had. He conducted 1,000 failed experiments, and as a result of this, the 1,001st was the light bulb. An interview asked Thomas Edison one day, and he said, how does it feel to have failed 1,000 times? He said, I did not fail 1,000 times. The light bulb journey was 1,000 steps. One of the greatest basketball players in the industry. At some point in Kobe Bryant's life, yes, he did fail. He missed several shots. He underperformed in every single game. This did not mean that he would fall back and say, I am done with basketball. No. He fell forward. He worked hard. He persevered. And he told himself, I am going to be the best version of who I am today. And as a result of this, he won 4 MVP awards. And today he has the title of the greatest of all time. He fell forward. So now we shall think about this in relation to a staircase. In order for you to reach the top of your staircase, you need to take these small steps. Now these small steps, my friends, are your failures, your challenges, your fears, your small achievements, your big achievements. This is what will lead you to the top of your staircase. And so, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Aatin Thayani, and today I am going to take you on a journey of how I climbed my staircase. It was back in 2015 when I was selected as the youngest male player to represent my country, Uganda, at the All Africa Badminton Championships. It was a really huge title to hold upon my shoulders because I was only 10 years old. During this journey, I had people tell me, he's just going in there to understand how international tournaments work, how international players work before and after the game. In my head, I just wanted not for myself, but for my country. As a result of this mentality, the only reason, ladies and gentlemen, the only reason Uganda was able to attain a bronze medal was because my partner and I defeated South Africa in the semifinals. We defeated South Africa in the semifinals, and Uganda won the bronze medal. What really pushed me forward to keep working harder and keep playing the game were the people I saw around me just jubilating, enjoying, and just dancing to the rhythms of the songs that were being played. And what really moved me even further were my parents. When I saw those tears of joy in my parents' eyes, that's what pushed me forward. I told myself, I have made them proud today. Following this tournament, I received several offers from Mauritius, South Africa, Kenya to come and train with their countries and their national teams. But the only thing that held me back was my age. I was only 10 years old. So, ladies and gentlemen, I stayed back in Uganda, continued playing my sport, winning tournament after tournament, and the results? Victory. It was as simple as that. I go into a tournament and I know I am winning this tournament. I'll also go there and I'll pick my trophy. I'll be like, okay, this is the one I'm going to take back home with me. With all this newfound attention, I was some sort of a celebrity. I had newspapers, news articles, people just all around me. I step out of the house and I have at least 1 or 2 people come to me and be like, are you that young boy that won a bronze medal for the country? Being proud of what I did, I said, yes, that was me. I continued playing the sport yet again. Now let's think about this. When a drunkard is intoxicated, in his head, his confidence levels are past 100%. He is the best in what he does, And in his head, he believes he could do anything possible to do what he wants to achieve. Yes, until he becomes sober and he's remembered where he came from, what his roots were, what his worth really is. It's right for us to say that, yes, I was intoxicated with success. Yes, I was on top of the world. Yes, I did believe I was the best. Yes, I did believe I could do anything possible to achieve and to tell people that you're not better than me. Until I was made sober when I played the under-13 final championships against my biggest rival. So now, before I explain to you the situation, I want to explain to you what the atmosphere in the stadium was like. There were about 200 people in the stadium on my opponent's side, having plastic bottles in their hands, just banging about the plastic chairs, shouting at the top of their lungs, trying to support my opponent. And on my side, I had my dad and my coach right behind me, and I had my mother sat right across me, that side, and they were trying to support me in every way possible. The pressure in the stadium was so much, my mom had to leave the stadium to go sit in the car, pull the window down, and have her phone in her hand so that she could call my dad every 5 minutes to get an update on what the scoreline was. Now you can imagine if my mom could not handle such pressure, what do you expect an 11-year-old child to do in such a situation? What do you expect? I lost the finals. I was beaten thoroughly. When I say thoroughly, I just do not want to remember what I'd gone through back then. I was so scared I did not go for the awards ceremony that evening. Because each time I put my head up, I would have people pointing at me, laughing at me, just making jokes about me. And all I had in my mind was, why are they doing this to me? What have I done? Did I really deserve it? Maybe I did, because of my attitude towards them. I went to my parents and I told them, badminton is not for me. Ladies and gentlemen, this was my first step backwards. My parents, my sister, my coaches, my friends, they all tried so hard to pull me back into the game. But each time I stepped onto courts, I would start crying. Because I did not want to experience what I had been through. And so I think everyone realized that this young boy maybe does really need a break. And so during this break, I started playing the normal brown boy sport, cricket. Surprisingly, my skills at cricket were so good, my dad and my coach both believed that I could make it to the under-19 national cricket team in no time, only if I worked hard. And even I knew that even I could work and reach there. Anything in 2018. Now this statement had a list of players who had gotten selected to take part in the 2018 Commonwealth Games. I saw these names and I'm like, not give up. If I did not take a step back, I was the youngest player to have ever represented my country at the Commonwealth Games. This is the day I realized that giving up is nothing but inviting a book of written regrets. This is why I am telling you today, do not give up, because sooner or later you will realize that you were wrong at that time. You were wrong at that time. And so I put in my head that next Commonwealth Games, I want to represent my country, whatever the case is. Now, I did not tell my parents, my friends, my coaches, I didn't tell them this. I kept it to myself. I continued playing cricket because I wanted to get rid of all the negative comments I received from the people. The comments were things like, he did not quit the game, he's just a sore loser. He was kicked out of the national team because he isn't that good. He was kicked out of the national team only because he was caught cheating. His father was caught bribing the opponent, and these were all rumors. These statements still haunt me till this date, and the most I can do is ignore them, which is even harder. So, the turning point in my life was the global pandemic. The global pandemic kicked in, we were all locked down. Now, this did not stop me. I would wake up every single day at 6:30 a.m. just to run a few 10 to 15 kilometers and try and work on my physical and mental strength. Now, let me tell you what really pushed me forward from here. When I was a young boy, my parents would have to force me to get out of the house to go and run and to exercise. But today, during the lockdown, my parents are telling me, Aatin, get back in the house. You're spending hours out there. You can't be spending so much time. Now, this is what really got to me. It told me that I am determined. I am working towards something. I have a goal. Ladies and gentlemen, the long-awaited motivation and hard work came to use on the 16th of January 2022 when I played my first badminton tournament 7 years later here in Mombasa. I played my first tournament and I turned out to be the first in the under-19 category and I was runners-up in the men's category. This tournament proved to me that I am no less. Throughout all my difficulties, all my doubts, badminton had never left me, even though I decided to take a step back and say, this is not for me. I kept moving forward. I kept working. I played tournament after tournament, victory after victory, and my confidence just kept building up as time went on. So this is where I could tell myself, well done. I was in my physics classroom just studying about the wave phenomena on the 18th of May 2022. When I receive a notification on my phone and it's an email and I'm like, this could probably be a promotion email. What could this really be? Manage back? And so I look at it and it's a message. It's an email from the Ugandan Badminton Olympic Committee. I'm like, whoa, what is this? And so I go ahead, tap on it, and it reads, you have been selected to take part in the Commonwealth Games Qualifiers 2022 to be held in Nairobi. Now, I did not believe this at first. So I pinch myself. I go ahead back to the email and I read again. You have been selected to take part in the Commonwealth Games Qualifiers 2022 to be held in Nairobi, Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, my jaw dropped. I could not believe what I was reading. And so I packed my bag, zipped it up off the shoulder and out of the classroom. I didn't even ask for permission. Now, I did not run out of the classroom because I was happy I got selected or because I was back into the game. No. The only reason I ran out of the classroom was so that I could call my father and see those tears of joy in his eyes 7 years later. And so I call my dad and I tell him, as I break the news to him, he tells me, welcome back, son. Today you have made me feel 10 years younger today. Now that's it. So this falls upon me and I am speechless. I have nothing to say. All I could do was smile from ear to ear and tell myself in my head, well done. Today you have made your parents proud. You have seen those tears of joy in their eyes 7 years later again. And so I began my preparations for the Commonwealth Games as my parents traveled all the way from Uganda to Nairobi, not because they want to see me play badminton or see me back into the sport, but just so that they could see that 7-year-old boy with a racket in his hand and a smile on his face. Now this is where things went my way. I started preparing for the games, and as I was preparing for the games, I received a few messages on my phone saying, well done, you have done your country proud, you have made us proud. And alongside all this, these messages were from the same people that made harsh comments about me 7 years ago. They were the same people making these comments about me, and today they're telling me, well done, you've made your friends proud. And so these statements really got to me, and I told myself, I'm not replying to this. I was so scared I left these messages with me and just shut my phone down and decided not to look at them. This is where I'm telling you guys that nothing is impossible. If you really think that you are able to achieve something and go for it, I don't see a reason for why you should look back and say, my past is going to affect my future. No, it's your past that will lead you to your future. It's these challenges, these failures, your fears is what will lead you to the top of your ladder. Unfortunately, I did not qualify for the Commonwealth Games as I lost to Vermont just before the quarterfinals. But this did not mean that because I've lost or because I've failed, I'm going to take a step back and say badminton is not for me. No, I still have a goal. This failure was a step forward. It's a step forward to my next goal, which is the 2026 Commonwealth Games to be held in Victoria, Australia, ladies and gentlemen. From this journey today, there are two key concepts we have learned. The first being, do not give up, do not stop. Because the time you stop, you will realize that your past is where you have been. You need to move forward. And the second concept we have learned is being humble, being kind, respecting others, and having the positive people, the positive vibes around you. You can think of it as we are all seeds. When a seed is growing, it requires water, it requires sunlight, it requires warmth. Now, these are the good people around you, your failures, your achievements. It's these small things that come together to help you grow into your fully grown dream. There's a great saying by Nelson Mandela, which he says, I never lose. He says, I never lose, I either win or I learn. On that note, if someone comes to me today and asks me, Aatin, how did you do it? I tell them, I fell. Thank you.